According to previews for The Bold and the Beautiful, BNB, Sheila Sharp, Kimberlin Brown, may receive some worrisome signs shortly. Some warning indicators may cause Sheila to reconsider the help Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, has been providing Deacon Sharp, Sean Cannon. Sheila is currently overjoyed with her hot reconnection with Deacon and thanks Taylor for helping him increase the heat. Taylor did aid Deacon, but not in the way Sheila thinks. Deacon was thinking about Taylor during his wild night out with Sheila, which is why it seemed like the first time all over again. Sheila may be on cloud 9 right now, but what happens if any cheating clues fall into her lap? It appears that Deacon and Taylor will continue to sneak around behind Sheila's back. Taylor and Deacon's love will ignite like never before, and their secret will continue to spiral. What if Sheila eventually receives signs that cause her to suspect Deacon is cheating on her? Given how close Deacon has become to Taylor, she could become Sheila's primary suspect. Steffy Forrester Finnegan, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, may panic and alert Ridge Forrester, Torsten K., that Taylor is in danger if they do not act quickly. Could Ridge go as far as fake an affair with Taylor to hide the truth? It's easy to imagine a soapy scene in which Ridge drags Taylor into a kiss in front of Sheila, throwing her off the trail. Taylor and Ridge have been pulled back to each other on BNB so many times that Sheila believes it will happen again. Sheila might even corner Taylor and insist she deserves more than Ridge at this time. Brooke Logan Forrester, Catherine Kelly Lang, would undoubtedly be upset, but Ridge may claim that he has a responsibility to clean up Taylor's mess and protect her. Ridge may have to pretend he has reconnected with Taylor long enough to persuade Sheila she is not a threat to her marriage. Of course, that strategy could backfire if Ridge develops affections for Taylor again. There's also the issue of Deacon's inability to stay away from Taylor, which means he may blow things up in the end. According to The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, some twists and turns are on the way, so keep an eye out for any shocking Sheila news. The drama developing in Los Angeles within Forrester Creations' elite circles and the entangled personal lives of its major actors has never seemed more perilous. Ridge Forrester, the legendary designer whose heart has always been drawn in several directions, finds himself once more at the center of a tempest that threatens to topple everything he holds dear. His convoluted relationship with Taylor Hayes, the brilliant psychiatrist with whom he has shared many chapters of his life, including children and painful losses, has returned in unexpected ways. Meanwhile, Sheila Carter, whose name alone sends shivers down the Forrester and Logan family spines due to her long history of obsession, violence, and manipulation, looms as the unpredictable force capable of shattering everything. Recent events have put Taylor in an extremely precarious situation. What began as professional advice or a fortuitous encounter turned into something more profound, an emotional connection with Deacon Sharp, the man now married to Sheila. Deacon, formerly a troubled character who earned his way back into respectability through hard labor at Il Giardino and dedication to his daughter Hope, is torn. On the surface, his marriage to Sheila provided stability and a chance for forgiveness after years of missteps, but the flame that previously existed appears to have dulled for him in unexpected ways. Instead, Taylor's thoughts intrude on his most private times with his wife. He admits in private that he can only act and feel such emotion when he imagines Taylor in her place. This secret desire has transformed his marriage into a sham, which he keeps up out of both fear and responsibility. Sheila, the survivor who has fought her way back from exile, prison, and apparent death several times, recognizes something is wrong but blames the reignited fire in her bedroom to Taylor's influence. Taylor's therapeutic sessions with Deacon, she believes, unlocked this side of him, making their nights more explosive. She goes to Taylor's office, gushing over graphic details about her bedroom gymnastics and excessively praising the doctor for whatever counsel she gave. Taylor is caught off guard and listens in horror as Sheila presents a picture of marital bliss based on lies. The doctor understands the truth. Deacon's fresh vigor is the result of betrayal rather than recommitment. She attempts to gently extract herself, assuring Sheila that she can no longer see Deacon in any capacity, but the words come out strained, tinged with remorse she can't quite mask. Others, particularly Ridge, have noticed the web of half-truths and suppressed impulses. Steffi, who is fiercely protective of her mother and painfully aware of Sheila's destructive nature, tells her father about Taylor's developing affections for Deacon. Ridge is astounded by the revelation. He's spent years negotiating the push and pull of Taylor and Brooke Logan, his everlasting triangle that has characterized so much of his adult existence. The thought of Taylor being involved with Deacon Sharp, of all people, and risking Sheila's anger fills him with dread. Sheila has shot people, kidnapped, schemed, and left a trail of destruction in her wake. If she realizes that her husband is emotionally, if not physically, drawn to Taylor, the consequences could be disastrous. Lives could be lost, and families shattered beyond repair. Ridge confronts Taylor, his voice rising with a mix of rage, concern, and possibly a glimmer of jealousy he refuses to admit. He demands that she halt whatever is going on with Deacon immediately. It ends here, he proclaims, reminding her of Sheila's decades of terror against their family. Taylor, divided between her new sentiments and her realistic grasp of the risk, agrees to take a step back with tears in her eyes. However, agreements established under duress rarely hold when emotions are involved. Meanwhile, Deacon becomes increasingly demanding in private, unable to get Taylor out of his head. He tells her bluntly that he spent every second with Sheila imagining she was Taylor. The confession strengthens the emotional affair, making it impossible to ignore. As tensions rise, speculation abounds about how this powder keg could be defused or exploded. One notion gaining currency among those observing the delicate dance of loyalties and lies is that Ridge, ever the strategist when it comes to safeguarding individuals he cares about, may concoct a daring deception. What if he and Taylor staged a rekindling of their own romance, not out of genuine desire, but as a premeditated ploy? The concept bears all of the markings of classic soap opera ingenuity: big public displays, whispered plans in shadowy nooks of the Forrester home, and the high-stakes risk of real emotions seeping into the show. Consider the scenario. Sheila, suspicious and inquisitive, begins tailing Deacon or confronts Taylor more aggressively. Perhaps she overhears a snippet of conversation or observes lingering glances that do not add up. Ridge intervenes to utterly confuse her about Deacon and Taylor's relationship. He pulls Taylor close in a scene designed to be witnessed, perhaps at Il Giardino on a busy evening or outside Forrester Creations, where eyes are constantly on. Their lips meet in a kiss that appears spontaneous, passionate, and familiar. Anyone watching, particularly Sheila, would notice that Taylor's focus has returned to her everlasting ex-husband. The affair with Deacon would appear to be a passing fancy, eclipsed by the magnetic pull Ridge and Taylor have always had. Such a ploy would serve several reasons. First, it shields Taylor from Sheila's initial suspicions. If Sheila feels Taylor is back with Ridge, her anger or rage will be directed toward Brooke or the old triangle dynamics, rather than the threat of losing her husband to the doctor. Second, it gives Deacon time to either recommit to his marriage or find a safer method to leave without causing bloodshed. Third, it enables Ridge to keep a close check on Taylor, ensuring she does not fall deeper into danger while maintaining the pretense. Of course, the plan involves significant dangers. Taylor might feel used, or worse, the old chemistry may resurface unexpectedly, complicating everything. Ridge's existing connection, whether with Brooke or in any other form, could break down as a result of the pressure to pretend. And Sheila, no fool despite her obsessions, may see through the act if the performances aren't convincing enough. The history of Ridge and Taylor gives credence to the falsehood. They've rejoined numerous times, after shootings, presumed deaths, family tragedies, and betrayals. Their chemistry is unmistakable, formed during years of joint parenting with Steffi and Thomas, in moments of compassion amidst turmoil. A manufactured affair could begin with tiny gestures, such as Ridge bringing coffee to Taylor's office, lingering touches at family gatherings, or public confrontations that end in reconciliatory hugs. Word would circulate swiftly in their close-knit community. Hope might mention it to Deacon, who may feel jealous but also relieved that the heat is off. Steffi would agree, viewing it as a vital shield for her mother. Even Brooke, if enlightened, may recognize the bigger threat posed by Sheila. However, Dishonesty rarely remains clean in this environment. Emotions long suppressed may resurface. Ridge would wonder why the kiss felt so real, and why holding Taylor close triggered memories he thought were safely locked away. Taylor, who is already conflicted about Deacon, may question if returning to Ridge's circle is just another difficulty. And Sheila, with her strong senses honed by years of survival, may begin to piece together inconsistencies. Why Ridge returns in Taylor's life at the same time Deacon's behavior changes. Why Taylor is evasive yet weirdly content. If Sheila confronts them, the facade may disintegrate in an explosive fashion, resulting in accusations, chases, or worse. This potential surprise emphasizes the show's ongoing appeal: love as both salvation and destruction, protection as a sacrifice, and the fine line between loyalty and deception. Ridge has always been a man who takes immediate action when his family is threatened, whether by designing a groundbreaking collection or protecting loved ones from harm. Faking an affair with Taylor would be an extension of that urge, a dangerous balancing act that would risk reigniting past fires. As the days pass, every gaze shared between characters carries significance. Sheila's boasts about her marriage contrast strongly with Deacon's inward struggle. Taylor's unease rises with each visit from her odd friend. Ridge's protective rage simmers, waiting for the proper moment to strike. Whether the notion is correct or not, the possibility alone adds levels of tension to an already explosive plot. In a town where secrets are rarely kept hidden and passion often triumphs over caution, the question isn't if pandemonium will erupt, but how terrible the explosion will be when it happens. The ripple effects would go well beyond the local triangle. Steffi and Finn's family stability could be jeopardized if Sheila's wrath spills over. Hope may face new conflict over her father's decisions. Brooke, who has always been the voice of reason in her own way, may be lured back into the never-ending feud. And throughout it all, the question remains, can love, no matter how fake, ever be truly controlled without consequences? In the bold and the beautiful, sparkling yet treacherous world, the answer has always been a resounding no, and that inevitability keeps fans returning, pulses pounding, for the next twist. Tension has been growing in Los Angeles as the web around Sheila tightens, and Ridge may be planning one of his most daring maneuvers yet to keep her distracted. Those familiar with the situation understand that dealing with Sheila needs more than just guts. It necessitates strategy, duplicity, and steel nerves. Ridge has always been willing to go to any length to defend his family, and now that Sheila's power is on the verge of spreading again, he may be planning a calculated performance to lead her astray. Ridge's concept is both daring and ingenious. If Sheila believes she has discovered a scandal between Taylor and Ridge, she may become so preoccupied with exploiting that knowledge that she misses the true schemes that are developing around her. Ridge understands that Sheila feeds on secrecy and manipulation. She thrives on chaos and uses it as leverage against those she pursues. Ridge may lure her into a trap by inventing a story that appears intriguing enough to pique her interest. Taylor finds the plan difficult to accept. Even though she trusts Ridge, the idea of pretending to have an affair or leading people to assume there is anything wrong going on between them has major ramifications. Taylor has spent years re-establishing her reputation and emotional stability. Participating in a falsehood that may harm her relationships, even briefly, necessitates a leap of faith. Ridge realizes the significance of his request. Nonetheless, he believes Taylor is one of the few persons capable of assisting him in carrying out such a deadly illusion. The plan's success hinges on subtlety. If the deception is too evident, Sheila will quickly anticipate a trap. She is far too skilled at manipulation to fall for a simple ploy. Ridge needs the story to flow naturally. Small indications, whispered talks, and carefully timed appearances could gradually give the idea that Taylor and Ridge are up to something covert. Nothing overt, just enough to arouse suspicion and curiosity in the appropriate viewer. Sheila has always been fascinated to secrets about Ridge's sexual life. His relationships have typically been tumultuous, dramatic, and public. That background lends credence to the idea of a hidden affair. If she hears stories about Taylor and Ridge sneaking around or having secret conversations behind closed doors, she may believe she has found the perfect controversy to exploit. For someone like Sheila, the chance to reveal such a secret would be seductive. Meanwhile, those closest to Ridge would need to play their parts carefully. Brooke, for example, may find herself in an embarrassing situation if the falsehood spreads too widely. Ridge may require her assistance, even if it means enabling her to appear suspicious or distressed in public. The emotional impact of such a performance might be considerable. Brooke's relationship with Ridge and Taylor is hard enough without adding a phony affair to the mix. Brooke may eventually accept if it means minimizing Sheila's danger. She knows better than anybody how destructive Sheila can be if left unchecked. If pretending to believe Ridge and Taylor are hiding anything helps Sheila make a mistake, Brooke may conclude that the immediate agony is worth the possible benefit. Taylor's role might be even more delicate. She would have to behave in a way that implies closeness to Ridge while not breaching boundaries that would harm those around them. A secret encounter here, a meaningful glance there. Minor things that are readily misunderstood. Taylor's experience as a psychiatrist may help her maintain control of the show. She understands human perception and how easily people can derive significance from everyday interactions. The toughest issue will be convincing Sheila to notice the clues. Ridge cannot simply hope that she comes into the story by chance. The deception must be skillfully directed against her. This could include allowing specific talks to be overheard or leaving indications in places Sheila is likely to discover them. Ridge may even plant information through middlemen who inadvertently propagate the myth further. Once Sheila believes she has discovered anything controversial, her next step will most likely attempt to obtain evidence. That aspect of the scheme may play right into Ridge's hands. If she starts spying or looking for evidence, she may expose her own actions. Ridge and his allies could track her movements, documenting each step she takes while she pursued the fake affair. The strategy's attractiveness is that it takes advantage of Sheila's natural inclinations. She takes satisfaction in finding secrets and using them to gain power over people. Ridge expertly transforms her strengths into weaknesses by presenting her with an irresistible enigma. The more she concentrates on the alleged affair, the less she pays attention to the genuine plans that are developing around her. Of course, nothing with Sheila is ever simple. She is well known for her ability to sense when anything is wrong. If she suspects that the story is staged, the entire operation might crumble in an instant. Worse, she might retaliate in unanticipated ways. Ridge is completely aware of this risk, which is why each stage of the deception must be meticulously planned. Another difficulty stems from Ridge and Taylor's emotional history. Even if the affair is fictitious, their prior emotions cannot be eradicated. Moments spent pretending to be intimate may evoke memories or unresolved feelings. Both of them would have to stay focused on the goal and realize that the performance is entirely strategic. Some onlookers may even begin to question whether the boundary between acting and reality is blurring. Ridge and Taylor have always maintained a profound bond based on trust, friendship, and a previous romance. While they swear that the idea is solely to safeguard their loved ones, spending time together in hidden conditions may revive previous chapters that neither of them plan to revisit. Meanwhile, Sheila's perspective is likely to become increasingly obsessive as the novel progresses. She enjoys the thrill of discovering secrets that others try to hide. If she believes Ridge and Taylor are betraying someone or concealing a relationship they do not want revealed, she may expend a great deal of efforts to proving it. Her obsession could lead her to make risky judgments. Ridge may be hoping for risky decisions like these. If Sheila becomes so preoccupied with obtaining proof that she breaks laws or exceeds legal lines, it may offer the leverage needed to finally stop her. Ridge's ultimate goal is not just to divert her, but to reveal her actions in a way that prevents additional injury. There is also the potential that Sheila will try to exploit the alleged affair as blackmail. In her mind, uncovering a secret of that scale represented power. She could threaten to reveal it until Ridge or Taylor give her what she wants. However, if the secret is made up, the threat loses its potency when the truth is revealed. Nonetheless, the situation has the potential to escalate in unexpected ways. Rumors have a tendency to spread well beyond their original aim. What begins as a meticulously planned lie can swiftly escalate into a scandal that spreads throughout the entire social circle. Friends and family members who are uninformed of the plan may express genuine confusion or hurt. That rippling effect could cause emotional damage long before the strategy is completed. Ridge may find himself forced to reassure those he cares about while preserving the illusion. The balancing act between honesty and secrecy would become more difficult the longer the lie lasted. Taylor, too, may face harsh questions from those who trust her. Maintaining the mask may require her to avoid telling the reality, even when someone she cares about demands answers. This type of emotional pressure could put her willpower to the test and call into question her devotion to the strategy.